is the moment.
The Bachelorette is back. And the power
I'm gonna fall in love.
is in Jen's hands.
And I'm gonna do it my way.
ABC tonight.
Everything about her is great.
I feel so special.
Jen's looking like a queen.
My men are very, very hot.
Someone call 911. You are looking so fired.
This is the beginning of a new era.
The Bachelorette. All new tonight, 8/7 Central on ABC. And stream on Hulu.
The results are in, and Trump-backed attorney Harriet Hageman defeating incumbent Liz Cheney in a 30-point landslide, more than doubling her vote total, all happening in Wyoming. But despite her brutal loss, Cheney hinting that her career in politics might not be over just yet.
This primary election is over, but now the real work begins. The great and original champion of our party, Abraham Lincoln, was defeated in elections for the Senate and the House before he won the most important election of all. Lincoln ultimately prevailed, he saved our union, and he defined our obligation as Americans for all of history.
Sean Duffy joins us now. Sean, you heard Liz Cheney there making the Abraham Lincoln reference. She also only spent half of her campaign donations. So everybody's saying this might be a sign she's running for president. If she does, how do you think that's going to go over?
Well, I think Liz Cheney lives in a bubble. I mean, she's not seeing what the American people think or the Republican Party thinks of her and her policies and her fight against Donald Trump. So on January 3rd of 2023, her term in Congress is going to end. Carly, she will never be elected to another elected position again in her life. Not even dog catcher will she get elected to again, because she has no base in the Republican Party. Democrats don't love her, right? She's a Republican, so she'll never serve again. So she may think she's going to run for president, and she can run for president, but she won't win a primary, she won't win a state, she won't win a delegate, she won't win anything from this point forward. She's done in politics.
Incumbent Senator Alaska and Senator Lisa Murkowski is going to advance to the election in November. Her Trump-backed challenger, Kelly Tshibaka, finishing not too far behind, less than 2,000 votes separating the two. Looking globally, Sean, not just at Alaska, but throughout the nation, will that FBI raid help Trump-backed candidates in the general election come November, like we've seen it help in the last week in some of the primary elections?
Yeah, you know, we followed the Roe v. Wade being overturned. That was an energizing moment for Democrats. You saw even some Republican folks who were like, listen, I don't know that I want life at conception where I'm at. They wanted some exceptions there. That was a motivating Supreme Court decision. I think what you're seeing, Todd, now is this raid on Donald Trump's home in Mar-a-Lago. Even soft Republicans are like, you know what? Donald Trump has been treated unfairly. We have a Department of Justice and an FBI that are partisan and political, and they're weaponizing that department. And I think the energy that's going to come from what's happened in Mar-a-Lago, and this is not over. I mean, we're going to continue to see leaks out of the FBI and the DOJ. I think we're going to see a criminal prosecution of Donald Trump. It's not going to end, and I think it's going to drive more Republicans to the ballot box. And what you're going to see is some of those very 50-50 seats that could have swung one way or the other. This will be a deciding factor in turnout for Republicans and even independents who might not have voted Republican, which means I think Kevin McCarthy's majority in the November elections is going to be much higher than it would have been but for this raid.
You know, you look at Trump's primary record, the candidates who he has backed have won 182 to 15 losses. He has a 92% success rate. Couple that with Liz Cheney's stunning loss. It's a huge loss in Wyoming. It was expected, but you look at the numbers there, and like Todd said, it's double. What does that say about the direction of the Republican Party?
Well, first off, Carly, I mean, Liz Cheney got 29% of the vote. I mean, she's a Republican incumbent in a Republican state and got 29% of the vote. It just shows how out of touch you are. I mean, she spent more time fighting Donald Trump than she did fighting for the people in Wyoming. I mean, people are suffering. I mean, the high gas prices, the open borders, people can't afford food at the grocery store in Wyoming. They drive a lot. I mean, gas is expensive. So she didn't focus on the kitchen table issues that people cared about, and that's why she got 29% of the vote. But to Donald Trump and his ability to drive people to certain candidates, we've never seen this in American politics. Usually when a president or a popular politician leaves office, the ability of them to drive voters to the polls diminishes greatly. Donald Trump's has only increased, and so the gold standard for endorsements Where endorsements really don't matter is
There you
Donald
go.
Trump. It really matters. 92%. Impressive.
Such a good point.
Sean Duffy, we endorse you always because you're the man.
Always.
Fox and Friends begins right now.
Savaged, unfiltered.
Hey guys, if you're trying to look for an organic product, right, you're getting tired of using the over-counter medication that's filled with chemicals, filled with all those nasty, cancerous ingredients, guys, head over to liverishi.com. That's right, guys, liverishi.com. What is Live Rishi? It's an organic CBD oil company that uses natural hemp oil in their products, guys. As you can see, I'm out and about right now. You develop a rash from walking in the park, grab that Live Rishi cream with you, rub it on there. I'm telling you what, guys, it's going to work like wonders. It's going to work like wonders. Use promo code SAVAGED UNFILTEred for 20% off your entire order, guys. And I'm telling you what, that's a great deal. 20% off your entire order. liverishi.com. Grab it today, guys. You're going to love it.
Hey, guys. Welcome to Savaged Unfiltered, guys. We have an episode tonight. I want to get into the Liz Cheney / Harriet Hageman, right? The polls are finished. And everything is all wrapped up. And it looks like Liz Cheney is making her way out. And Harriet Hageman is now in line here. Guys, we got Soslan here on the show. Soslan, let's dig into this, buddy. Were you surprised that Harriet Hageman was gonna win?
Well, tell you the truth, I was hoping that she would win. And I definitely could tell you that not only was I excited that she won, but the margin that she won by, I would have never guessed that she would have won by 30%. And so, and it shows you that true voters, how they're sick and tired of the establishment Republicans. And that's why I was so excited.
What's that, Sauce?
Sorry about that. Something happened. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, you're fine. You're fine.
What happened is that I was able to finally sleep good at night. I said, another witch is gone. Another witch hit the dust. Now she can go on be Miss Piggy on the Frogs or whatever it's called.
Yeah. I seen your image that you sent me just a couple minutes ago. I thought that was funny. We're actually gonna put that on social media. Yeah, we're gonna put that on our social media page. I'm sure TikTok will have fun of it, because we're gonna put some music in there, and with Kermit the Frog and Miss Piggy. I know there's a sound effect somewhere on TikTok with that, but I wasn't so surprised, Sauce. Harriet Hageman, a candidate that was endorsed by Donald Trump. And, Donald Trump says, people that are endorsed by me, 80-90% of a chance that, they're going to win in a landslide.
Oh, absolutely.
And we've seen it firsthand. I mean, we've seen it firsthand. And have you seen now where Liz Cheney went on a public statement just earlier today and says, this is what happens when you step up to Donald Trump. You get a defeat.
That is funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
And she should also look at herself. I mean, this is what happens when you burn the bridges on your own party, your own Republican Party. And it's interesting because O.J. Simpson endorsed her and said, hey, if you're a Democrat, please vote for Liz Cheney and stuff. And they were paying Democrats to literally vote for Liz Cheney so she can stay in there.
Wait, the former football star O.J. Simpson?
No, the one that killed his wife.
Yeah, the former football star. Yeah, he was a football star. I don't know if you knew that. He was
Yeah,
in some movies and stuff. But oh wow, I didn't know that.
yeah, he was.
OJ, okay.
Yeah, he was telling people that like, and it was interesting because it was on Fox News and they did a news clip of it. And then you had Dick Cheney also telling people to vote for his daughter. Well, man, it seemed like I feel bad for Dick Cheney because he looked like he was being held hostage. We saw that ad political video, and was pleading to the voters, "Oh,
Yeah,
please elect my daughter. She's so wonderful. I love my daughter. I don't want her taking care of me at all. That's why I want her to keep in D.C. or something like that." You
yeah.
know,
I also see the video that came out by Dick Cheney, yeah, as well too. And he was basically bashing Trump in the video. Like, give my daughter a chance. She's gonna do good for America. Listen, I mean, come on.
well, and here's the whole thing: is did you not see like he was being held hostage? Did it not seem like he was being held hostage?
But in the video,
Yeah, it seemed like he was being held hostage against his own will.
yeah, I've seen some of imagery come out of that. Yeah, I guess you could. Yeah, I seen a little bit of it. Yeah.
I mean, I feel bad. I feel bad for him.
But when's the last time we took Dick Cheney serious? I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know when it was. He's
But
yeah, he's a joke.
yeah, he's a joke. I mean, we actually have a sound clip here that we're gonna plug into the show. And not now, but like we'll edit it in, folks. But I mean, even Fox, I call it flippy flop Fox, because one minute they're talking about the Republicans, the next minute they're kissing their asses. Flippy flop Fox came out and said that they weren't surprised that Hageman was going to take the victory. Because I mean, she was leading 30% in the polls, over the Rhino Liz Cheney, and they knew it was going to be a landslide for Hageman. I mean, Hageman was endorsed by Trump. She was also endorsed by other Republicans in her party. You know what I mean? So I mean,
Yeah.
it's not a surprising factor that we've seen a huge victory lap for Harriet Hageman. So.
Yeah. Well, and here's another thing. Okay, with everything that's going on and stuff, do you think? So I hate to say it, but I think President Trump has a huge amount of influence on this new Republican Party. It should be called Trump's Republican Party because he pretty much owns the Republican Party.
Well, I mean, he's the new face of the Republican Party. I mean, I wouldn't say he owns it, but he's the face of the Republican Party. He basically has a huge involvement with the party. He has a lot of influence over, certain decisions that happen within the Republican Party. And Sas, Republicans see that. Other top Republicans see that, such as, Ted Cruz and, others, just to name a few. They see the influence that Trump brings to the party. And
Yeah.
the reason why Trump has a huge backing in the party is because he's not your typical politician where he's going to, say things and not deliver. I
Yeah.
think that's why there's such a huge backing with Trump.
Yeah, and it's interesting because you looked at it, and now you put that on the mirror in Wisconsin. You can see where the real establishment is in Wisconsin. And I have
before we go to Wisconsin, hold that thought. I know where you're going with that because I wanted to bring that into the show. Did you see where Fox just came out with a statement with Liz Cheney, right? Did you see the speech that she also spoke right after that, where I mentioned earlier in the show where she said that, if you step up to Donald Trump, this is what happens. You get defeated. She also made a very, very interesting statement shortly after that. And she quoted a Abraham Lincoln statement.
Yes.
What did you think about that, man?
She is that's got to be the dumbest thing that can come out of her mouth. She can't compare herself to Abraham Lincoln because Abraham Lincoln had integrity and he at least knew what was right and wrong and knew what political party he was on, and he wanted to be advocate. And I definitely can tell you, if you disagree with somebody, Abraham Lincoln might have disagreed with you, but then at the end of the day, he would have supported his own party, not by will, but but just because that's the right thing to do. I mean, Liz Cheney comparing herself to Abraham Lincoln. Come on, why don't you? So what's so is she going to compare, like, what's she going to be comparing now? She's going to be saying, "Hey, I'm Rosa Parks and I had to sit in the back of the bus," or what? Is she going to compare herself to Rosa Parks now?
I'm sure she'll play that scenario to get a couple little napkins and tissues for her support. But I thought that was quite fascinating when she made that statement where she's like, Abraham Lincoln might have lost the Senate and House, but he gained a huge amount of respect when he won the presidency. So when she went into that, even Fox came out with a statement saying, could Liz Cheney possibly run for president in 2024? I mean, it could be a possibility, Sas. I mean, we could see her running in the ticket, and trying to get that primary.
Yeah, she's not going to have a chance. No.
You don't think she'll get the nominee?
No, you can't. Well, she might get no. You can't. If you can't win your own state, if you can't win like your own state, that tells you something. Look at Beto O'Rourke. He tried to run for president. He couldn't get, and he couldn't win Texas. And now
Trump defeated him in a landslide. I mean, It was a fucking joke. It really was. But I want to get into this one thing here with you, Sas. What if she does run? If she does run and she has a huge, possibly potential matchup with Trump, because I think Trump, we all know Trump is going to be in, have some type of involvement with 2024, the election. What do you think the playoff will be right there, the scenario?
All you have to say is that if I were President Trump, I'd bring up the January 6th committee and how you betrayed the people, and how, when you're elected, you work for the people, not against the people, and how you backstabbed and you failed your integrity. So if I were President Trump, I'd play that January 6th committee and stating how she is a two-faced establishment rhino that will flip-flop to please anyone, doesn't matter what party.
Yeah. We're gonna dig deep into the Wisconsin thing, because you were gonna bring Wisconsin in here, and ladies and gentlemen, Sas had the opportunity to talk to Representative Thorne, Hamthorne. Is that how you pronounce his name?
Timothy Ramthorne.
There you go. How did that turn out? I heard little bits and pieces of it, but I didn't hear the whole interview session of that.
No, so what happened was, so if most of you guys know who Timothy Ramthorne is, he's a very well known. Do you know who he is?
I've heard a little bit of him, just a little bit. I know he had a lot of. Is this the gentleman that was endorsed by Ron Johnson?
No, he was endorsed by Mike Lindell.
The Pello guy, okay.
Yeah, and the Frank Speech, and he was also endorsed by Patriot, like the Patriot Party members, and he was endorsed by he was endorsed by a lot of other candidates, like Patriot movements and stuff. So Timothy Ramthorne is one that started the whole decertified 2020 election, to decertify the whole election, and that's how he became famous.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Wow.
And so he pushed for that, and then people started picking up on him, and then that's where, if you ever heard of Steve Bannon, he made appearances on Steve Bannon War Room multiple times. He made appearances on Newsmax.
Oh, yeah. I know. I know him now. I think he has some type of involvement with the Wisconsin school board, right? Wasn't he part of the school board at one time, or is he still part of the school board? I'm not sure.
So right now he is holding office. So he is the state representative until January 3rd. But it was interesting because he gave me a different perspective on what Robin Voss is really like. And I was flabbergasted. And how Robin Voss threw over $5 million to Rebecca Clayfish and to go against Tim Michels, because Tim Michels had the endorsement of President Trump. Robin Voss threw over $5 million for her. And now but he also threw $5 million to Patrick Teston, who is a poster child of a establishment poster child. So he threw over $10 million himself. And and he's also said that there was cheating in the primary in Wisconsin because
Yeah, I heard the one part of the conversation, Sauce, where obviously he only has until January 30th. He's losing the seat, right?
yes,
Where he only had about what was it, about like 30,000 votes over to his contender that was running against him with 130,000 votes, right?
well,
Do I have that accurate, or is it a little off a little bit?
so what happened was that there was 100,000 votes that appeared magically.
Okay.
That's what he was
Magically, okay.
Yeah. And so it threw off everybody else's vote counts because they're stating that, well, if Karen Mueller got over 200,000 votes, then how come, and I traveled with Karen Mueller and stuff, then how come I didn't get the votes? And because him and Karen were very close and they campaigned together. So he's speculating that there was a significant voter fraud in the state of Wisconsin, and also that the Democrats teamed up and to push Michaels through, and that they teamed up. They teamed up and voted Democrat or voted Republican as Democrats in this primary so that they can get their poster child, Tim Michaels. But and he also explained that Tim Michaels is he's not from Wisconsin. He's actually from Connecticut. He's been living in Connecticut for the past 13 years.
I heard that one part. I heard that one part first. I mean, I love it. The poster child, right? I mean, that's going to be like the next headline. The poster child, the poster child. But he, I heard the one part where Timothy said that it's going to be hard for him to actually basically be eligible for in November because of the residency phase. Like you said, he's not from Wisconsin. He basically he's representative from Connecticut, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So what is your thought on that? Do you think that could hurt him, or do you think that, what is your thought? I want to get your perspective on it.
Well, here's my thought on it, Sauce. The residency, I do agree with Timothy on that. The residency is going to hurt him because, when you're running for any type of public office, whether it's on a state level or a federal level, man, you have to, your voice matters to the people. They're going to look at the residency. He could say he's for the people of Wisconsin, but I mean, at the end of the day, guys, let's put the peas and carrots on the dish. I mean, he absolutely doesn't know shit, and he's not really for the people of Wisconsin because he's not even from freaking Wisconsin. He's from Connecticut. The residency, Sauce, is going to hurt him. That's the one part I agree with Timothy on. It's the residency part. He's going to lose base on that because when people find out about the Connecticut, thing, they're going to be like, "Hey, this guy's not for us. Maybe he should go back to Connecticut." But this guy is running, on his parents' residency in Wisconsin, right?
Yes. Yep. On his parents who live also in Wisconsin.
Yeah, that's a little fishy if you ask me. Like, why does he have to use his parents' resident?
When he's a multi-billionaire.
Yeah, why can't he use the residency that he has in Wisconsin? Why does he have to use the parents or the person that he's running? That he's using the residency for. I sound like a broken record, guys, but I think you understand what I mean. If he's using his parents' residency, there's something behind it. What is he hiding? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So okay. Here's another question for you then. Okay. Do you think that do you think President Trump endorsing him will give him enough momentum to make it through the general election, or not really? Is that residency that's going to hurt him?
I don't know, man. I if anything, one or two things can play out. The residency is going to hurt him without a doubt, because people are going to see through it. The true voters will see through it. The ones that, sometimes people like this, Sauce, they'll vote for you because, you've seen, their name on a billboard or their bumper sticker looks cool or something. Oh, they got cool bumper stickers and T-shirts. People get like that. But, I think it's the residency thing, but I also think him being backed by Trump, that will help him. The endorsement by Trump will help him. I think that's the only thing that's helping him right now is the endorsement by President Trump. But I mean, for President Trump, with all due respect, I mean, I'm a Trump guy. I love the Trump movement, but I mean, Donald, Mr. President, like, what the hell? This guy, you got to look into his residency card. I mean, he's using his freaking parents' house to put on the damn the residency thing. I mean, I just don't understand. I don't know. I don't know why he's using that. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, and so then it was also interesting because, he and he talked about how, the voter breakdown, and then he also talked about, okay, so this is also, it was very interesting because if you're in the state of Wisconsin, he talked about how when you get elected, okay, you have to pay $5,000 to Robin Voss each year to keep your committee chair.
Yeah.
And then if you don't, then you get leftover committees, which are your trashy committees. So like your dirty laundry committees. And he's stating that's not fair because that's not for the people. And he's saying that's like a good old two-shoe club. And, when you pay $5,000 to the Speaker of the House, what's he doing with all that money? Because you're talking about 99 people paying $5,000. I did my math, and that is well over $500,000.
Well, I mean, Sos, this is the same shit that we just seen with Liz Cheney, with Harriet Tubman, Harriet Hageman, and I wish Harriet Tubman was running. Harriet Hageman, it's the same scenario. It's almost similar. Like there was, you're talking about like, campaign, money, finances, and stuff like that. It's a big bucket that's just being thrown around. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I just think it's really sad. And then last but not least, he really focused in on the DPI of the state of Wisconsin and how Governor Evers literally is in charge of Department of Instructions in Wisconsin, and how he told them to lower the test scores for all the grading standards, so that he can look good. But that's why he called him the education governor, because all he's done is done the favors of the teachers union. But he stated this: he's like, all you have to do is go to school in Madison, and they're not learning a damn thing. They're not even like doing anything besides crawling and being fuzzy genders. He's like, why our schools are failing.
Yeah. I mean, look at the education, Sauce. I mean, the education right now in the state of Wisconsin, it sucks.
It's trash.
I literally, I mean, you have children today right now, maybe in high school right now. Let's just use high school. They're supposed to be on a, 9th or 10th grade learning level. These kids are like, they're still learning on a 6th, 7th grade learning level. And, no wonder why the test scores are like the lowest in the entire country.
Yeah.
So it's not good when you have politicians that veto bills out. I just seen a bill that, these gentlemen that you're talking about vetoed 147 bills.
Yep.
Like, what's up with that? 147 bills. Like, why was it necessary to veto out 147 bills? Why couldn't that get passed? Like, if you have a poor education system in your state, right, and these local leaders are seeing it, why is bills being vetoed out? That was the same scenario that got played out in Wyoming, where, they pointed that out with Liz Cheney. And at one time, Liz Cheney was like, oh, no, we have one of the best education systems in the entire country. Bullshit. Yeah. Because this was like, they were ranked like 10th in the entire country. This was like 3-4 years ago. And this was another good point that Hageman brought up in her campaign. And I think that's one of the reasons why she won the campaign to begin with, was with the test scores, right? Yeah. She pointed that out. And, when you're not pointing out stuff like this, Sauce, you're going to lose your base, man.
Yeah. Yep. So I thought it was he was very well spoken. And to tell you the truth, Michael, I'm very surprised that I'm very surprised that he actually went on my show. I mean, I was like, stop. I mean, you were the first person to tell. I told you. And I'm like, hey, dude, this guy is like being on my show like he's big league.
Yeah,
And
I mean, unfortunately, he lost. He lost the race. I mean, hopefully that doesn't put a stale point in his political career. Hopefully he can he can jump back into whatever he decides to do. Possibly maybe run for state senate again, or run for the congressional seat. I mean, do something. It's such a shame too, because you've heard just yesterday. This was the part where you departed from the show yesterday with when we had Joseph M. Leonard and Jimmy on the show, where Jimmy went into full detail, and Jimmy was like, we have to, the people that do good for this country, let's not forget about them. We really need to support the ones that are doing the work versus the ones that are just, they're not doing the work, Sauce. They're getting by like, freaking corrupted lobbyists and, special donors and stuff like that,
yeah. And and so then afterwards, I got some mixed reactions. Apparently, one campaign reached out to me, and
Oh, yeah.
yeah, he was pissed. Pardon my language, but I mean, what do you expect? And apparently, he's like, apparently, I have to go. Like, his campaign wants me to call him at Friday at 3 p.m. to have like a serious conversation. I mean, dude, get off my back,
Yeah. Unfortunately, you have politicians, man, that, they take it serious, which they should. Don't get me wrong. Like they're running for, an important seat or important role for this country, whether it's a state senate or, a congressional leader, a House representative, hell, even down to the president himself, or herself for that matter, yes, it should be taken as a serious note, but like the ones that are not putting into the work, this goes back to what Jimmy says, the ones that are not putting into the work, it's only going to hurt them in the end, Sauce.
Yeah.
Because if they're not putting in the work and they're relying on like, campaign staffers, whether they're on a volunteer or a paid basis, those are the ones that are putting in the work. The volunteers and the staff members. The freaking candidate, he's not putting in the work. He's just, putting on a smile on bumper stickers and, billboards across the country, touring in his tour bus, saying the same bullshit and garbage that the next politician's going to say. At the end of the day, do they really have your voice? Do they really have your support? No, because they'll say anything just to get into office. And I think that's what we see right now with our current administration. Yeah. We see just wishy-wash type of a government,
Yeah, and changing the topic, I thought it was interesting how Fox News did a special episode now because like President Trump told people to not like cause any harm, against the FBI and stuff. Well, apparently now, since when does Kamala Harris care about the police department? When does she care about law enforcement? Since when does she do that? She's never done that, and she voiced her opinion on that, and they passed laws. She should be the last person to care about, she should be the last person to tell us that we should care about law enforcement. When you all you have to do is go play backwards or go on YouTube and find recordings and audio of her defaming the police and of her trashing the police and the prison systems. But now she's worried that they're being persecuted and that we should back the blue. No, I'm sorry. No, don't play that game.
Well, Sauce, this is coming from a woman that's known for putting, more black people in jail than any other elected official. She put more folks in jail than anybody else. And she's like, oh, I'm for the black community. I'm going to do this, and I'm like, you ain't going to do shit, lady, because if you were going to do something, you would have done it 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah. And you would have done it when you were AG of California. You would have not passed that. You would have not passed a minor infraction law that put over 8,000 minorities in the California prison systems and weighed down the prison systems. But
Sauce, this is coming from a former call girl, a hooker from Montel Williams. A lot of people don't realize that she was a former call girl, a hooker that she was like Montel Williams, like go-to type of girl. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But see, the media won't tell you that. They know it. That's stuff that they kind of leave to the side,
Yeah, it's something that you put underneath the rug, and that they keep it there. So
Yeah, tuck it under the rug. Exactly.
So if anyone wants to catch the interview that we did with Timothy Rampton and I, you guys are more than welcome to go on Remember God Loves You, and I'll Meet You at the Finish Line podcast, where you will find the interview, and you'll also find other guest interviews such as Michael, Tommy Nation, and Miss Laura Speckman, and then also other individuals. We're going to have great guest lineup next week. We have a very successful business entrepreneur. His name is Jonathan Wickman, who is a multi-millionaire that has started up a successful business. He will be officially on our podcast, Remember God Loves You, and I'm going to get to finish line. And he also ran for lieutenant governor for the state of Wisconsin.
That's some good stuff, man. You got some good guests lined up, guys. Check Sauce's podcast out. He's got a good guest coming up this Friday. You said you have one lined up tomorrow too, right?
Yes, I have one lined up tomorrow. One lined up on Friday. Yeah, I think one lined up on Friday too.
That's awesome, man. Good stuff.
And
good stuff.
And you know what? Before your viewers and stuff, I want to say truly from the bottom of my heart, I want to say thank you on behalf of Michael and I for being dedicated to us. Thank you to you guys for supporting us and allowing us to tell the truth and allowing us to tell the news that other people don't want to because they're worried about people liking them or not. So I want to say thank you guys again for just sticking around with us to hear the real news and laughter and jokes. So
yeah, I mean, it really means a lot. Thank you, Sauce, for putting that message across, that shout out. It really does. I mean, hat tip to Sauce. Thank you very much. But it means a lot. For people supporting the show. On any platform. I welcome any platform. Whether it's Spotify, Google, Apple, Amazon Music, Audible. We're now on Audible. Even Alexa. Whatever device or platform you listen to us on. Thank you very much. And always too, guys, if you want the most recent episode, make sure you hit that like and follow button and make sure you hit the notification bell on, because you'll know when the most recent episode launches on any of those platforms. Soslan, I want to thank you very much. I know it was last minute, but I wanted to get into this Liz Cheney, Harriet Hageman story because I thought it deserved an airway approach. And I thank you very much for getting into the aftermath, I guess, of your show earlier today with the great representative there in Wisconsin, Timothy. It was a really good show. We tuned into it, and I thought it had a really, really good viewpoint. So, Soslan, thank you very much, buddy, and good luck to your show tomorrow. And we look forward to seeing the show on Friday as well.
Oh, absolutely. All right, guys. Remember, God loves you, and we will meet you at the finish line. Have a blessed day.
Take it easy, Sauce.
All right.